Hello guys, welcome to Daddy Share Space and welcome to my channel. So today I'm coming to you with another unboxing, and as I go along I'll go ahead and give a little bit of an explanation about this particular purchase. Alright, let's go ahead without further ado and open the box. Okay, so you can see right there the presentation from the top. We'll remove the bubble wrap and you can see that we have another Festool sustainer. Let's go ahead and pop out product here. So as you can see here, we have another Festool sustainer. This is the MFK 700, and being more specific, this is the MFK 700 EQ B Plus set. Let's go ahead and open it up and see what that includes. So this is the presentation. As you can see, we have our manual. We have our warranty inclusive here, and then we have our plug-it cord, which we will set to the side. We have a box wrench, or spanner wrench is what they call it overseas. And then finally we have the Festool MFK router. Let's take a closer look at the router itself and go over some of the details here. So it's a 19mm wrench is what is used with this particular router. Now, if you have been on my channel at all over the past few years, you'll know that I've done an unboxing of the Festool MFK EQ router. I'll go ahead and put a link in the description below for you to be able to go back and look at that. So one of the reasons why I went ahead and decided to pick up this particular model of the Festool 700 MFK 700 is the fact that if you take a look at this particular base here, this base is unique to the other bases that are available for the Festool MFK router, and that it has this kind of a bearing or bushing type thing. So the Festool MFK 700 is a trim router that's offered by Festool. It comes in multiple variants, if you will. This variant here comes with this particular base. This is the base that is utilized with the Festool Contoro. Now, I've mentioned in the past that I want to eventually get a Festool Contoro. When I happened to go on Amazon site, I realized that they only have one left in stock. So I went ahead and went back over to Hartville Hardware, where I buy some of my tools directly, and they did not have this listed in their router section. So the one that they had listed on Amazon was said to be sold and shipped by Hartville Hardware. So I don't know if it was like at Amazon's fulfillment center and not at Hartville Hardware, but the bottom line is it's a very similar situation as to when I bought my Festool 10-meter hose. On Amazon site, it said that basically there was only one left. I went ahead and pulled the trigger and bought it because I didn't want it to kind of go out of stock and then come around and find out that I couldn't get it. Something like the Festool VAXIS system. That's one of the purchases that I wish I would have made. I didn't make it because I didn't have any clue that it was going out of stock permanently. I looked at it, it was on Amazon site. I think they had like one or two left. And I decided, you know what, I'll wait on that because I wasn't sure if I would use it. I was still early on in my development of my shop and trying to figure out which direction I wanted to go in, and I just had no clue. I was not in the know to know that the Festool VAXIS would no longer be sold in the United States. If I had known that, I would have went ahead and purchased that. And so similar to my 10-meter Festool hose, I decided to go ahead and pull the trigger on this router just in case this happened to be another product or variation of the product that will no longer be offered. Now, this is a corded model. It's a 700-watt router. The cord plugs in here. It's got variable speed. It goes from 1 all the way up to 6. You've got your on-off switch here. So in order to disengage the router body from the base, you unscrew here, and that allows you to pull the router out of the base. So this is the router itself, the body. Okay, typical trim router as far as size. And this right here is the Festool. Let me look at the name here. So this is why you buy the Festool EQ B Plus router set. Now, this particular set, including the MFK router, is $529. You can buy another set version of this. I believe that is $699, which I do have here in the shop, and I'll show it in a minute. And the whole difference is the base. The router is exactly the same, but the base is where this particular router kind of shines, if you will. If you buy the Festool Contoro and you use it to put edge banding on your workpiece, it's going to leave a lip like on the top or on the bottom that's going to need to be flush trimmed off. Festool designed this base, and not necessarily the router, but this particular base to work in conjunction with the Festool Contoro to be able to trim the edge of the edge banding on the top and the bottom so that you get a really nice finish. Now, you can do that with the other bases, but this particular base was constructed specifically for that purpose. Now, I did see that there was a location online, it was a long time ago, where you could buy this base by itself for $200, which if you subtract that $200 price tag from this router, that would make this router be 329 bucks. However, it was not sold from one of the suppliers that I normally buy from, and I'm a little bit kind of a creature of habit, where I like to buy from people that I'm used to having some kind of relationship with, so that basically I know what to expect, and I've either dealt with their customer service or I haven't had a problem with them. And being that I did not see this particular base sold anywhere else online, it kind of gave me pause to think that, you know what, let me go with this new company, or let me just try to buy it. And recently, when I went to try to find the base a second time, I was unable to find it. So the fact that Festool makes it kind of difficult for you, at least here in the United States, for you to buy this base, it kind of moves you towards going ahead and buying the set and getting a second or getting an MFK router with it, which obviously increases the price by $329, however you want to look at that. Now, the problem is Festool doesn't offer a solution where this particular router comes with all the bases. Let me just show you what else you can get for this router. So if you look right here, so this is the router that comes with the set. This right here is my, let me look at, yes, this is the 0 degree base, and it is going to function with this router as well. It'll just plug right on in like this, and you'll tighten it down, and that's going to give you the ability to utilize this router in this orientation here across your workpiece. Or if I was using this as my workpiece, I would be able to come along here and flush trim on a 0 degree, and I could put my hand down here and keep this level to edge band or trim an edge with this particular trim router. So that's two bases that are offered for this particular router. Now this base here, I believe, has to be bought separately. Now if you buy the other kit, which is, I believe, $699, I purchased mine a long time ago. I believe I got it for less than that because I believe inflation pushed the price up. Let me grab that one here. So right here, I have my original Festool MFK purchase. We'll get to compare the router so you see that they're exactly the same router. All right, so first and foremost, if you look at how this base sits on the table here, you see how it's kind of elevated up at an angle? That is so that if this was my workpiece here, it's going to ride along this way on my workpiece like that, with the router obviously orienting down. This right here is my other Festool MFK router, and you can see the comparison of the bases. They look similar. They look very similar. However, this base obviously sits flush on the table, and it's more for traditional routing purposes. So that's how that's oriented. So let me plug this one back in so you can kind of get it, so you can see how it works, or how it looks, one next to the other. So we tighten this down. Now, so you see, these are ultimately the two different router configurations. This is an extra accessory base, so let me set that to the side for a second. Now the kit, which you can see right here, it comes with an extra dust port. It comes with an edge guide with a dust port built in. It comes with another type of dust port. It's got still yet another dust port. It's got its own version of an edge bearing guide. And then in my particular kit, it also has these bars that you would use to connect this portion here, which is the edge guide. You've got your micro adjust, which is going to work with this edge guide here. And then finally, we have the fourth base that comes with this setup, and this is the 1.5 degree base. I'm trying to see where it's marked on here. It's not, but essentially these two bases are not the same. One is at a 1.5 degree angle and the other one is a 0 degree angle, meaning it's perfectly parallel to your surface when you utilize it. You can kind of see here this one's a little bit elevated, and so when you hook this to your workpiece, it's going to have a little bit of a 1.5 degree angle on it when you use it. So let's go ahead. I'm going to disconnect both routers so you can kind of get a look at the four bases that are offered for this particular router. These are the four bases. Again, this one is the base that comes with the 700 EQ set. I guess I'll just call it the Contoro base. And then you have your regular conventional router base, which is traditional to most routers. They have a regular base that goes on the router. This is Festool's version of that. And then both of these items here, or these particular bases, give you the ability to run your router in a horizontal orientation, where it also can give you a degree of a bevel. So you can either have a 90 degree orientation or you can have a 1.5 offset with this particular base here. So I know that other routers have a lot of different functionality, but I do believe that possibly Festool's MFK router has probably a larger degree of alterations or other tools that could be utilized with it. Now, if you notice on this particular router base, if you can see right here, there are two holes, and then likewise there are two holes on this base. So both of these bases can be utilized with your edge guide, and that would give you, basically what you would do is you would put your connected in like this. And when I look at the new one, something I see right off the bat. Now, I missed this before. It does come with an extra collet, if you can see that there. It does not come with any of the extra accessories that I can see to plug in here. Now, I'm not sure on this particular base if you're meant to take this out and put it there or how that's supposed to function, but that is something, because if you look at this base right here, it has two knobs here, and those two knobs are going to give me the ability to unscrew here and screw this down and tighten that up. So I'm pretty sure if you look into Festool's on their catalog, you can probably find these knobs, or maybe they're anticipating that you will buy both kits as I did, and then you would just take these from this particular base, unscrew them all the way out, being careful to keep up with the spring, and then you could put them into this base, which I would assume, yep, and it's going in perfectly fine. And then just to kind of give you, just to let you see how that works. Now, of course, you're not going to put them together like this, but I'm just kind of showing you how both bases can work with the rod, right? So, but for whatever reason, this one, the EQ B Plus, did not seem to come with these knobs. This particular set, which I believe this is the one that's called the set, it does come with these extra knobs, which gives you the ability to attach the accessory rails, if you will, or rods. And get this on here. The rods are going to give me the ability, obviously, to put it in here like this. I can tighten this down like so, and then using this sustainer as though it's my workpiece, I can orient my edge guide and say I want to go in on my work to a certain degree. I can unscrew this and move it in and out accordingly. So that's how that would function. And then if I want to use the micro adjust, I take this off, slide it out, and then I'm going to put this portion, it's going to slide in here like this, and then I slide the whole thing back in. And then when I tighten the rods down on this end, or actually I won't be able to tighten it to use the micro adjust, I don't believe. And then when I turn, so this slides in and out like this. And then if I tighten this portion here, that gives me the ability to micro adjust, and it's pulling the base with this screw from my right to my left. Again, this is the older version of this. You can see the dust port right there. You also have the newer version, which I have here in the shop. This right here works with the 1010, but it also works with the MFK. So if I don't want to use this older setup, which I think I bought this one separately from the whole set here, but one of the intuitive designs of the Festool Sustainer with the molding is it gives you a place to put future accessories in with the same tool. Now, it gives me the ability to put, say, the 1.5 degree base and the actual router and this here. All of this can be stored in my original case. This one does not necessarily fit in there, or I've not tried it. It looks like it's about the same size, so it might fit in there. But all of this, along with the original router, which I am now confused as to which one is the original one. Doesn't matter. I'll look at the video. Yeah, this is the new one. And essentially, when you can store all of this in one sustainer, which I think is pretty cool to have that ability. Now that I have the two sets, I can store the 0 degree base with one. So I would imagine there's possibly a slot for that in here. Maybe, maybe not. Actually, the design of this one doesn't necessarily show that it has the same type of storage as the original. The original set, it has a place for a base here, it has a place for the edge guide with the different dust container or dust collection ports. This molding is very different from the molding that's inside of this other one, so you're not going to be able to get the same storage option. So again, we can take the base, whether it be the new one. As you can see, it's too far with this one. So in order to utilize it with the MFK, we will have to make an alteration of something. With this one here, this is on the MFK setting. So the outside setting is going to be for the 1010. And right now, I guess the last time I used this, I used it with the 700. And as you can see there, you can use this whole setup together. Now again, mind you, if you buy the MFK 700 EQ B Plus and not the MFK EQ set, you will not get the knobs to lock this in. That's just what I'm seeing here. And that means that you will have to either go onto the Festool catalog to find these knobs here, or you could, well, even this other base here, unless these knobs are the same, which they're not, they don't look to be the same as the knobs that are on top here. So yeah, it looks like either you're going to be looking for parts, the parts catalog for Festool, to find these knobs so that you can put on this base. So that's just something that, of course, we only find out through purchasing and sharing this information with one another. Anyways, I didn't have a whole lot that I wanted to say about this. The reason why I went ahead and decided to do the unboxing now, I bought this maybe almost like 2 weeks ago, and I wanted to go ahead and put this, well, open it up and unbox it so I can go ahead and register the tool, because you have a 3-year warranty. You have to register it within a month or within 30 days. And even though, because I bought my router table that I have back here, I'm probably not going to get the Contoro in this calendar year. It's probably going to be, if my family is able to stay afloat during these economic times, it'll be probably, I don't know, February, March of next year is when I'll be looking to buy the Festool Contoro. But right now, happy to have this extra router in the shop. Even if something happens with the Festool Contoro to where maybe it's no longer available, or maybe they stop selling it here for one reason or another, it will not be a bad idea to have 2 trim routers, because obviously having 2 of these trim routers in the shop, it means less base changing. And if I had a project where I wanted to have my trim router in this vertical orientation, I can do that, but very quickly I can reach over and grab a second router and use it in the horizontal position. Anyways, guys, it's been just a simple unboxing of a new addition to my shop. I'm excited to have this in the shop and to be able to use it for any different thing that I want to use it for. Pretty soon here, as you can see, I'm back in the shop. I need to go ahead and put my MFK 700 in here. That'll be a video coming up here soon, or actually I may go ahead and put the 1010 in here first and do a video showing that and seeing if I like that as far as the power and the functionality of that, so I can show the install of it and then also use it a little bit, and then turn around and take the 1010 out, put the Festool 700 in there, and then that's probably going to be the router that I'm going to leave in there, simply because I've come across some information about issues with the 2200 router being used here in the States. And then also I've learned through people that have basically sent me comments on my video and basically saying that the new 700 that has a safety feature, I guess a lockout feature, is going to make it a little bit more interesting to utilize this table the way that it was designed, which is, you push the button and you go ahead and use the tool. It looks like I may have to be going up under there and re-engaging the trigger, because it seems like there's a timeout. Now, I don't know about that for myself, but I will find that out. Anyways, guys, I want to thank you for taking time to watch this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Take care.